Hey everybody, it's me, Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. Yes, I'm wearing the same thing as the last video I made for those who watched that one because I'm recording this one like an hour and a half after that one. So welcome in to my subscribers, welcome back to my subscribers, and welcome into anybody new. I keep on getting stuff in my hair. I guess that comes from going through a bunch of stuff. Okay. Came back. I said I was going to come back and do a crochet and chat with you while I crochet, but I really don't have time for that now. But I did want to chat about a couple of things and show you some things I found and I don't know, talk about some things that happened to us, and if anything like this ever happens to you guys, let you know, just so you can watch out for yourselves. So what we're dealing with right now doesn't happen to you. So first of all, if you watched the last one, I was talking about what we're doing for Cal number 4 that starts next week. And what we are doing is working on an old WIP. I freaked out. I could not find, I knew I had on a piece of paper that I wrote out how to do this pattern. Turns out I have this this thing from 30 something, which is the name of the company I couldn't think of before. Direct sales is also what I was trying to think of that my brain would not let me. I had this pouch that you can put papers in or whatever in. I have patterns in there that I want to file because I have a 3-wing binder, and then I got the protective pouches that go in the 3-wing binder so that I can put my patterns in there individually and look at them, see what they are. I figure I'll put one facing one way and then one facing the other way so I can put 2 per pouch. But I have not had time to do that because I can't do that until I finish the back room. So any time-consuming thing like that can't be done until I'm done putting the back room together. At the very top, very top pattern that was in this pouch, what's my pattern I was looking for? So down here, she has all the different rows with what colors you should use, and in pencil, I have the letters that I have corresponded to my colors that I had written up here. It's in pencil. You can't see it. I don't expect you to see it. But color A is purple, like I showed you in here. Purple. Purple. B is bright, which is that variegated bright. C is yellow, so it's not ending in yellow. Yellow's in the middle. D is green multi, which I showed you all the colors in the last one. E is white, and F is light multi. So it's going from purple into white on the end, which, oh my goodness, ending in white. What am I thinking of, right? I may rethink that and flip around the white and the yellow. But if I do that, I don't think it'll represent the sunset in the way that I want it to. So, and I don't know if I have a lot. I don't know if that's how it's actually ending, because it looks like the last rows are going to be done in F, in the multi, in the light color multi, so not in the plain white. So that is a good thing. And what I couldn't think of before was ribbing. I was like, what you use for arms and waists and stuff, it begins and ends with ribbing. And I thought that the pattern that she had done was blue and white, because she does a lot of things in a nautical theme. But here I will show you exactly what I'm working on. It is called the linen stitch. So I said moss stitch, but I can't remember if the moss and the linen are the same. I believe they are. So this is the linen stitch baby blanket, and hers is purple and white on one side, then it goes into the gray and white on the other. My stripes are going to be different. They may not be as long because I have more colors that I need to fill in. So like right here, I know I did rows 2 through 32 with the purple because I didn't start thinking in my head how I was going to change it. Actually, I only did 22 rows in the purple. Then I did 6 rows in the bright variegated. So right there, I already went off. I should have done 10 more rows according to this. So yeah, I just changed it up. And hopefully when I am done, it will be a blanket that looks like the sunset. You will have to let me know when I'm done what you think. So my husband and I have been working in the garage. We've been doing a lot of work in the garage. We had a tree limb go through the roof of our garage years ago now, somewhere between 4 and 6 years. My husband was working 80 hours a week at the time. He did not have time. He didn't have any time left, I don't think, at one of his jobs to be able to take time off to deal with the aftermath. So insurance had a cleaning company come in and take care of it. And in the past, when we've had something happen, we had a tree limb go through a window, an overhead window. I can't remember what those kind are called now. We had them all ended up having them all covered over by insurance when it happened. We didn't replace that window. They covered that up with board and tiles. And when we had the roof redone, we had all of the skylights taken out. We had 4 skylight windows in our back room. And a tree limb had come through. Our daughter was in the back room. Luckily, she was not under the skylight that it came through. She still ended up with all of that chunky glass in her hair and everything. I think she had maybe 1 scratch, if that, on her. We lucked out completely. So my husband said, that's it. No more skylights, no matter how much we love them. I love to go back there and just sit in a chair and look up and look through and look at the sky. I just absolutely loved it, especially in the winter time when you couldn't go outside because it was too cold or, whatever. As long as the snow had cleared itself off of the skylights, I could, look out. So, yeah, I've missed that over the years, but my daughter's health was way more important than that, or anybody else who may have happened to be back there if that happened again. Because we had some large trees, we could not afford to have them taken out at the time, and insurance wanted us to take them out, but they weren't going to pay for it to happen. So, yeah, it took us a while, but that was the first tree to come out, was the one that had dropped the limb back there when we could afford to start getting trees taken out. Luckily for us, I had a cousin who was in the business. And so we got family pricing. I mean, it still cost us a lot, but he had a lot of workers who had to come in and work on it. So anyway, fast forward. Had a limb go through the garage. These people came in, they cleaned it, couldn't find tools and stuff. Turns out we thought that maybe somebody had taken the tools. They totally threw them in a bin, in another bin that had water in the bottom of it. And they've been in that water. So now my husband had to throw most of them away because they got too corroded to be able to do anything. Well, we were told that they were going through everything, all the bins, everything, to make sure that they kept the stuff that was good, that was not completely drenched in water, and things were going to get dried out that may be a little bit damp, put back in the containers. Turns out no. They tossed out the stuff that was completely drenched. They never opened up most of the containers. So if there was water in there, everything's set in that water. If things were just damp, covered with mildew now. We went out to go through everything. So much mildew. We were able to save some clothing. My husband washed it all, and it turned out nice, although some of it still has a bit of a mildew smell, so it's going to have to be washed again. And if it's still with it, we're tossing it. I can't breathe with that. It bothers my allergies. So he finds my craft container. I've been, for the last 6 years, actually more, before that even happened, I'm like, I need to find my craft container. There's stuff in there that I need. Oh, I don't know where I, put it, don't have time, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't go out there and lift everything and move it. So I needed to wait for somebody. Nobody else would help me, so I needed to wait for my husband. Ended up, I bought more yarn, decided it was okay. I didn't want to do any cross stitch right now or anything like that. Well, it turns out that water got into my container. I thought that I didn't have a lot of yarn before, that all I had was a box of yarn that I had in here. Well, it turns out all the yarn that I had put in that container, because I thought that container was going to stay in the house with me and not be put in the garage and shoved away. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, that is what happened. So I expected to work out of that tote. That I didn't have any space to put my crafting stuff, but the tote would stay in the house and I would work out of it. Yeah, no, I actually think I have 2 totes. He found one with a bunch of plastic canvas in it the other day. He said, in my glue gun, and he said it all looked fine. Well, this one was not in a Rubbermaid container, which we found out was the best containers out of all of them we had out there. It was in a Sterilite container. Something heavy had been put on top of it so that the end came up. Everything at the one end smells musty, doesn't have a bunch of mildew on it, but everything at the other end is completely and totally encrusted with mildew on the top. We're just going to have to take and toss. He says he thinks that my yarn is salvageable. I'm like, if it's got that smell, it's not salvageable. So let me know if you've ever dealt with yarn that still feels great. It's not starting to get, that crusty feel to it, but all it has is a mildew smell. It doesn't have like stains or anything on it. It looks great. It was full of Jamie yarn. Okay. I can't get Jamie baby yarn anymore. Not like they used to have. And that was my favorite yarn to work with. But I can live with it. I have all my yarn that I have in the back room. I can live, if we got to dump it all, it's fine. I told him I will live with it. What bothers me is I had cross stitch patterns in there. I had one that my mom gave me 2 of that came from the Avon magazines when they started doing arts and crafty type stuff. It's a cross stitch with a beautiful angel. I made hers. I didn't have time to make mine because it took, I don't know, like 3 months at least for me to make that, if not 4 or 5. I was working. So I would get to work on it a couple hours a night and then maybe, twice as much on the weekends. When I started working at it full on, trying to get it done, to have it, I had it professionally framed and everything for her. So it had the yarn that I had left over from my mom's, and I put it inside of this one. So I had it open. It wasn't closed, unfortunately. And it's still moist inside of the bag. I took the bag off of it. It doesn't really smell bad. I had a needle that completely rusted. The needle was through the pattern, and unfortunately, there's a hole in the pattern. I'm pretty sure There's only one color that was in all of those boxes, but I'm not positive. So I could probably make it, but I'm not sure. And I don't know the floss that's in a bag that was in there completely sealed, I think is fine. Perfectly fine. I had other floss that I had already put on uh, cardboard that I had started to cut. I think that's what was left over from my mom's. I can't, it's also tangled up. It's not even funny. I'm hoping I'll be able to make it, but like I told my husband, I don't even think my mom has hers hanging up, so I'm sure that instead of making another one, I can toss it and just get the one that I made for her and hang it up. We're just beside ourselves. The fact that this company did not do what they were supposed to do, it just really has us upset. My husband worked for the next 3 years, still doing 80 hours. So we didn't have a chance to go out there and go through everything. You know, we were told that they would take it out and dry it. They would make sure that it was dry. All they did was they moved everything, put it into a storage locker, never went through the contents, never emptied out the water that was in the in the bins, which if they'd have done that, that would have at least helped. Anything that they left the water in is not salvageable. Anything that was only damp is mildewed. So we're trying to salvage what we can. I'm, losing weight because I'm supposed to. Right now, I haven't. I've gained after my surgery. I need to get back to where I'm losing. I'm doing my low carb. Last year, I did low carb and boom, I lost a lot. This year is a bit different. My husband is not making dinners like he did last year, where everything was low carb. Low carb didn't work for him. So he's doing like an in between. And I just need to make sure that when he makes things that I can't eat, that I don't eat them. And that I find something else. Make myself eggs or, whatever. So I just need to start being a lot stricter again. So I started making my deviled eggs with avocado that I did last year. And anytime I was hungry during the day, I would eat like a full egg, but they're deviled eggs, is what I should say. Deviled eggs with avocado. And so you don't have to use as much mayonnaise with it because the avocado, um, I only have to put a little bit of mayonnaise basically for taste. Otherwise, um, they're too runny. So like yesterday, not yesterday, the day before when we were working out there and I would come in and I was hungry, I would eat one or two and that would fill me up, which is great unless I'm feeling sick. When I'm feeling sick, the last thing I want to eat is deviled eggs. So there is that. But last year I ate a lot of eggs. So I'm going to go back to making my deviled eggs with my avocado and eating more dinners that are scrambled eggs, things like that. So otherwise, I've been doing pretty good at staying low carb. I think my issues is he's been making a lot of potatoes and I'll be like, oh, I can take a bite. I'll be okay. And yeah, not so much. And I need to just start writing my numbers down so I truly know what my numbers are throughout the day. I didn't have to before because I knew that I wasn't eating hardly anything. Hardly anything that we had in the house had carbs in it. It would have, everything had less than 10 carbs, had carbs. So, so yeah, I need to watch that. So I'm going to start being stricter. I need to lose weight. So therefore, I had clothes out there from when I was at my smallest, when I had lost enough weight, like around 2014. And I don't want to get rid of all those clothes. We want to see if we can preserve them because I don't want to have to buy all new clothes when I'm that size again. And like I told him, it's not if I lose weight, I have to lose weight for my health. So it's a have to. So we're going from there. But just if you ever have a catastrophe happen and they bring in a company to like do the cleanup, please, please check everything after them. Even if you think you don't have time, please take the time. Unfortunately, I was in 10 times as much pain then as I am now. And you guys know that I'm still in a lot of pain and I can't do a lot every day. So imagine, I could barely get up then. I was pretty much bedridden when this happened. So I couldn't get out there and do it. Our daughter was in school. She couldn't get out there and do it. So, yeah, just make sure you find time to look after people because people really don't care anymore. You know, if nobody is there watching them do their job, they're going to take the easy way out. Unfortunately, we know this from different places where my husband has worked. When he was working, as a custodian, a lot of them would just sit down and watch TV and they would wait to be told what to do. And then they tried getting my husband out because he would find things to do. He likes to stay busy and he would find things to do. Well, unfortunately, he would work so much at work. I mean, like I said, he was working 2 full-time jobs, working at least between 80 and 85 to 90 hours a week if he had overtime, if not more. So by the time he came home, all he wanted to do was sleep. So anyway, double check. Always double check. And if any of you guys know a good way to get mildew smell out of clothing, they're clean. He washed everything, and a lot of things, the smell he got out of. He used fabric softener, and then from Scentsy, I have these scent boosting things from when we used to have a washer that I would use with my clothing because he didn't like them on his. He used those and he was like, wow, this stuff really gets smells out of these. I'm like, yeah, that's why I used it. And he thought he had gotten the smell out of everything, but no, there's still stuff. I put on one of my tops that he had washed yesterday, and I don't know if he didn't use all of that stuff and everything, but I put it over my head and all I could smell was mildew. I walked into my room and all I could smell was mildew. So I need to get through that stuff as quickly as I can. I wish I could find somebody around here to help me. I haven't been able to find anybody to help me with the back room, so I doubt I'm going to find anybody to help me go through all this clothing and stuff. But if I'm not around a lot in the next week or 2 or 3, I'm trying to get through all the work that I have around here that I need to do. Not only do I need to do that, I have things that I need to do. I still haven't gotten my meds from my procedure on the 1st. So I'm still fighting and dealing with that. And that's hours on the phone every time I call. I have an email that I need to write up about everything that's going on to send to the HR department where my husband works to let them know what's going on. So I have a lot of stuff on my plate right now. I'm going to try to get as many videos made as I can. I want to get back to reading Anna Karenina. Although I am so upset. I watched a movie the other night that told me how Anna Karenina ended. I was like, no. It was like a basic thing. And honestly, I didn't hear everything they said. So the part that they did say, I wasn't too surprised at. Anyway, we found some finds while we were outside. And I've talked about these, and I need to clean these off. But I found the knitting needles that my grandpa brought back from World War II. My husband was like, "What are these things?" He opened it up. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, you found the knitting needles." Now, honestly, I don't know how to size these. They're lace weight knitting needles. So if anybody knows how in the world I can size these once I get them clean, I need to get some steel wool and clean them. They had started to rust even when I had gotten them from my grandma, but not as bad as they are here. My husband said, it's because they're in a wooden container, but it doesn't smell musty at all. So I don't know if these even got, messed up. He said they would have rusted anyway. So like I said, they had already started to rust when I had first gotten them. I had cleaned off a little bit, but I was, pretty young then, and I didn't know how to finish cleaning them. But like these right here, I think are the smallest. But then there's this one right here that could possibly be smaller or the same size. Now, I don't know if these are double pointed, so I don't know if these are DPNs. It feels like they could be pointed, but they're not like extremely pointy. And that might just be because of the years of wear and tear. Now, these look like they may be the largest size that's in there. And here's some more smaller ones. And I can't tell if they're larger than, they look about the same size as these. So it's like I have 5, actually 6, that are around this size. All 6 seem to be about the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I was right. 5. And then 5 of the tiny. Oops, I thought I had them. So I'm going to get some steel wool and I'm going to try and clean these off, maybe hopefully this weekend. And once I get them cleaned off, I will show them to you guys again. But there's no markings on them that I know of. Maybe when I get them cleaned off, I'll find something. But even when I had seen them before, I don't think they had any markings on them. And my knitting needle sizer, which is for knitting needles and then also crochet hooks, I know does not go this small. So I don't know if they just have like, oh, lace weight, say knitting needles or lace weight or what. But once I learn how to knit a little bit more, I would love to try and make some lace with these. Maybe that's dreaming too much. But again, my grandpa brought these home from Germany in World War II. Unfortunately, the tag fell off, as you can see from that part right there. So this was the best find that we found yesterday. Other than that, we found my cedar line box that a furniture company here used to give the female graduates from all the 5, from all of the schools from South Bend. I think they did it for the Catholic school too. So that would have been, what, 6 schools at the time? I don't know if they did it for the Mishawaka schools or not. They may have. But they gave free cedar-lined chests to a small chest. And I have all obituaries and stuff. I have a flower that is still preserved from when my grandfather passed away. And he passed away when I was in 6th grade. All the other flowers that I had in there that I was trying to preserve and had been fine over the years, they ended up with mildewing, which they would have done on their own. I had dried those by hanging them upside down The one that has survived is a Rosebud from the grandchildren's arrangement, the pillow that my mom had given me, and I pressed it in our family Bible. And I made sure that I had put it in a lot of paper towel so that it wouldn't ruin the Bible. And we have one of those big family Bibles. I mean, huge, gorgeous, with all the beautiful pictures and stuff in it. I think my dad got it when he was over in Spain. I think that's what he said, in the Navy, and gave it to my grandma, and then my grandma gave it back to him. So, but he told me it was a family Bible. So I don't know. Actually, I don't know if that's where it came from. It may have come from my grandpa. May have brought it over when he came over from Belgium. So he came over from Belgium when he was 18. He was born in 1907. I think one was born in 1907, and my other grandfather was born in 1908. I think he was the one born in 1907 because he died in 1987. Oh no, he was maybe 1980. He died when I was in school, so 87 would have been right. I know he was 81 when he passed away, so maybe then that would have made him 80. So that doesn't seem right. I know one was 1907 and one was 1908. Maybe he was only 80. Maybe I remember playing a game about how old we were, and maybe we were playing it with how old he would be on his next birthday. That may have been. I would have to go look at the obituaries again and see, unless it was one was born on 1906 and one was 1907. Anyway, he came over when he was 18. So that means he came over like 1920 something. No, 1930 something. 1900, if he was in his 20s. No, he was 18. I cannot. 1920 something. I was right the first time. Because it would have been 19, he would have been 10 when it would have been 19. If it say he was the one born in 1907, he would have been 10 in 1917. He would have been 20 in 1927. So that means it would have been 1925, around in there. So between 1925 and 1928, my grandfather came over from Belgium. And when he did, he lost all of his hair. So when I knew my grandpa, he didn't have any hair here, but he had hair around here. And him and my grandma always told us that story. She met him not too long after he came over. So we still have family in Belgium that we have not seen in a very long time. They used to come over and visit while my grandfather was still alive. So we have not seen them for a very, very, very long time. I think all of his sisters have passed now. But yeah, when I was in Belgium on the choir tour that I was there for, staying with host families, it was so cool to open up a phone book. And I know I've said this before, and seeing my last name all over the phone book and not having it just be like 3 or 4 people in the phone book. It was so cool. So somebody else on the trip was from Belgium as well. And while we were in Belgium, they took us to an amusement park. And he didn't go. He ended up going with his host family to a place where he could go and look at family archives and stuff and try to find ancestors, I think, who still live there in Belgium. So, really cool stuff. I would love to go over to Belgium again. I know that we will probably never be able to afford it, but it would be amazing if we could. I would do anything. Well, not anything. Anything within reason to go over to Germany and Belgium again, since my heritage is from Germany and Belgium. Because my other grandpa, he was German. So he was born, I believe, in the United States, but his parents were from Germany. So anyway, I'm going to get going. Oh, my other find that wasn't as good as that one. My husband found this. It is, okay, yeah, it's a alarm clock. It looks like, I think, volume turn, band, no AM. It's an AM FM radio with a cassette player. It's not an alarm on it. I thought there was an alarm on here too. With the good old antenna. I can put C batteries in here, or I need to find an adapter to be able to plug it in, which we have so many around the house. I'm sure I can find a 6-volt one, which is what this takes. Either 6 or 16. I can't remember. I read it on here. But I am so excited. I can listen to my cassette tapes. So many cassette tapes. I was thinking about them last night. I was talking about them when we were doing the Cali yesterday. I'm like, Def Leppard. I've got Debbie Gibson, my boyfriend, who I just love so much, and I knew I was going to marry. Unfortunately, the one who got me sick, he gave me a Debbie Gibson tape, and it was one of the only things he truly gave me. Besides a necklace, I found that in my in my box of memories. Got me one of those Mizpah necklaces, you know. I can't remember the saying on it, but I have my half, and it has his name engraved on the back of it. And yeah, I just have so many cassette tapes I can play. I'm so excited to be able to listen to my youth. Air Supply. Oh my goodness. Just thinking. Great White. I used to be a part of the Columbia House cassette tape club. You know, so I got so many cassette tapes a month and paid so much. So yeah. I used to love Columbia House. Oh my goodness. I know I was a part of a readers one. The cassette tape one. I think I had done the albums before cassette tapes. CDs. I did CDs after CDs came out. That's why I have as many CDs as I have, which I hardly play anymore. And most of those are country ones. I can't wait to be able to listen to my cassette tapes because those are from the 80s. Those were my life, you know. Oh, Bon Jovi. Oh, so many Bon Jovi cassette tapes that I have. So, Cyndi Lauper. Oh, I'm just so excited. I just need to find my cassette tapes. My husband believes they're in the back room. So, I cannot wait. So anyway, I'm going to get going. I have a friend who's waiting to talk to me. So I'm going to get off of here. Sorry about that slip. So I can go talk to her. There was more. I mean, I was going to show you a little bit more of what I've done, but I haven't done a lot more since I showed you my stuff that I finished the other day. I haven't gotten any farther on the baby blanket that I've been working on. The only thing that I have done that I don't know if I showed or not is I started working on the dinosaur, the Pokemon one. I can't remember the name of it right now, and I'm not going to find the pattern to look at it, but there's the stomach. I have to start stuffing it and then put the neck on it. But it has to be stuffed before I put the neck on it. So there's the stomach. That's what I've been working on. And yeah, so many other things I need to get to working on. So I need to get off of here because I need to talk to my friend, take a nice shower while I can before they start working outside, and who knows how long we're going to have to be without a shower right now. Hopefully just a couple days. Hopefully they'll be able to put plexiglass over. Anyway, I'm not going to try to explain it all to you guys. They're either going to have to redo the bathroom right away or put plexiglass over a certain part of the wall that they're putting up because they're replacing a window that has been in the middle of the surround of for our shower over the bathtub, because we've got, a bathtub with the shower over it. Well, originally when the house was built, they didn't have showers, or they didn't put one in here. All they had was a bathtub. And then when we moved in, the person before us had put a shower in it, and the window was still there. And we don't know how they covered the window up. The wood wasn't too terrible at that point in time. We don't know if maybe whoever fixed up the house between that person and us is the one who put the shower in. But we have done everything we could to try and keep that window dry, and it is just so hard. So hard. We had shower curtains and stuff, but they move, And the window is so old. And then it got to where we couldn't keep the window completely shut. So it's just been a thing. Anyway, what I would like to do this weekend, if I find time to do it, I don't know how loud it's going to be when they start working out there tomorrow. So, if I have time this weekend, while my husband's at work, or after he goes to bed at night, if it's not too late, I'm going to come on and do a live where I just sit and crochet and we just chat and talk. Not a live where I have a guest on, not even when a live, I don't think, where I put the link down and invite anybody up who has a channel. I will see about that. It depends on who's going to be in the audience. And if somebody says, hey, can I come up with you? We'll see. But what I would like to do, if I do this live, and that's why I'm telling you about it now that I'm thinking of doing it, is I would love to answer whatever questions you guys have for me. Throw them at me. Anything that you've ever wanted to ask me when you watch my videos, you think, oh, I'd like to know this, or oh, I'd like to know that. Feel free to ask. I am a completely open book. The only thing you cannot ask me is personal questions, as in, things between my husband and I. Anything else, feel free. Well, unless it's something too personal about my daughter and myself. If you have regular, okay, family questions, feel free to ask them. If you want to ask me a bunch of stuff about my daughter, because I'm sure most of you know that she's adopted, it just depends on what you're asking. I do have, as anybody has, I have veto power over, if I decide not to answer something. But if I decide not to answer something, I'll probably tell you why I'm not answering it. So, yeah, I would love to do a live. I really don't want to have, I'm still waiting on people to tell me if they will come live with me or not. And I've just put the brakes on asking anybody right now. I know that, oh goodness, I can see your name and I can't, I am so sorry. Now I can't even think of the name of her channel. The, oh my goodness, I watch her all the time now. She came live with Kaylin and I. Vintage. Which is the Vintage Crochet channel. Corinna. I believe it's Corinna. I know she said she'd come live with me, and I just need to message her now and get it set up. So I hadn't sent one to her because I was trying to have somebody, new in between. And I was supposed to have Tasha from Stardust Crochet on, and she ended up canceling at the last minute. I've been trying to reschedule with her, and it has not happened yet. So I'm just going to come in by myself. Kind of scary for me because that means I need to, I don't know, carry the whole life by myself. But yeah, I figured give you guys a chance to ask whatever questions you want to ask me. So if nobody shows up, then I know nobody wants to ask me any questions. If you guys do show up, well, or you may not see that I come on live because, like I said, I don't know when it will be. It will just be when I have a chance. I will try to announce it in my group, and I will try to remember to put it on the community page as well, like an hour or two before I go live if I can. But yeah. Any questions? Any questions about my health are fine. I'm not considering those personal. I guess there would be some health questions that could be personal that you could ask that I would have veto power over. But pretty much, if you have any questions about chronic pancreatitis, if you have any questions about HIV, feel free to ask. Fibromyalgia, being polycystic, trying to think of everything. I've got so many things. Having a pain pump, being on a pain contract. Any questions? So, I love you guys. I'm going to go. I will see you soon. Mwah. Remember, you matter. Don't let anybody tell you differently. You matter. Oh, if you happen to be watching this and you won one of the prizes from Bingo, I sent them out well over a month ago. I have not heard if you guys got your prizes, so please let me know. I should have wrote in the cards that I sent out to please let me know if you got your prizes, and I did not do that. I forgot to. So if you are seeing this, please let me know if you got it, because I would hate for somebody to be sitting and waiting, and I know that I sent it out and it got lost in the mail. So please, please, please let me know if you got it. I will try and go. I think I still have your emails saved, but I'm not 100% positive about that. Since I've been cleaning out my emails, I may have deleted them after I sent everything out, but I can't imagine that I would do that. But please, please let me know. Ambi, I know you got yours. We've already discussed that. So it's the other two people that I sent stuff out to. Please, if you see this, please let me know. With that, I am out of here, and I do hope to see you if I have a chance to go live. I'm really hoping to. So, you matter. I love you guys. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're not. I know what it's like to live that way, thinking that you're ugly and everybody thinks you're ugly. Don't let people make you feel like that, because you are all beautiful. I am beautiful. You are beautiful. We are all beautiful. And I love you guys. And I will see you soon.